Okay, I'll get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this free masterclass. We'll talk about game changer habits for a powerful perimenopause, menopause, and rest of your lives. This is really setting us up for healthy longevity. Super important, this masterclass. It's so much noise out there about all the things that us women 40 plus are supposed to do. And I just want to make sure to give everybody clarity what really is important. What does it really come down to? And it really is consistently doing certain things really in a consistent day. That's what really makes the difference. So let's jump right in. First, who am I? My name's Barbara Burke. I'm a sports scientist. I'm a nutritionist. I'm a mindset coach. I offer courses, coaching, and talks for women 40 plus. My three pillars are nutrition, movement, and self-care. And I'm on Instagram at Strong with Barbara. And my website is optimumu.com. I'm super excited to meet you all and very happy that you signed up for this masterclass. So let's jump right into this. Do you know these feelings? Constant fatigue despite enough sleep, unexplained belly weight gain, overwhelmed by 1,000 different tips, feeling like a stranger in your own body. What's going on? Why does this happen after 40? Well, you probably have heard by now all about perimenopause and menopause and all the hormonal changes that are going on. Those hormonal changes have a bunch of consequences for us, and some are listed here. For example, a 3 to 8% muscle loss per year, which is really scary and really not good for us. That slows down our metabolism. Our metabolism gets slower, it gets sluggish. It also simply isn't as efficient anymore. So even the nutrients we take in don't get metabolized as well, which is why we have to support ourselves really well. And then chronic inflammation is a huge topic. So not the short acute inflammation, which is a good immune system response, but chronic inflammation that's just like, at a low grade in our body. That happens more and more as estrogen goes down because estrogen really is anti-inflammatory. So we have to do a lot against inflammation because chronic inflammation is silent and it is not good for us. It basically is part of most lifestyle, long-term chronic health issues. Chronic inflammation is part of that. So it doesn't have to be this way. Things are changing, and we can support ourselves to feel better and be in a better state during this time. So how does this sound? Instead of the constant fatigue despite enough sleep, how does full of energy sound? Instead of unexplained belly weight gain, a good body composition and feeling great in your body. Instead of overwhelmed by 1,000 tips, clarity and simple, healthy habits. You know what to do and you know how to feel your best. And instead of feeling like a stranger in your own body, feeling amazing in your own body. That's what we're all going for. So the solution to all this is simple. It's very clear. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's three pillars. It's movement, it's nutrition, it's self-care. So movement, we all know how important movement is. And actually, movement is a really great hormone balance supporter. I will talk more about that in a little bit. Nutrition, super important element. Nutrition, we have to think of fueling ourselves instead of deprivation. Most of us are so stuck in this whole loop of depriving ourselves of food and punishing ourselves and moving more, eating less, and all those things because we're freaked out because our weight is all of a sudden changing and we don't even know why. And that really is a vicious cycle. It gets worse and worse and worse. So it's about fueling. It's not about depriving ourselves. fueling ourselves in the right way. And then the third pillar is self-care. Stress management is super essential, and it gets more and more important. So let's talk about the first pillar, movement, your hormone pharmacy. What do I mean by that? So the problem, as I said before, from 35 years on, we lose muscle. We lose muscle every year. And with the hormonal changes of perimenopause and menopause, it gets even worse. Our metabolism slows down and gets kind of not as efficient. We get weaker bones, our posture kind of declines, our pelvic floor gets weaker if we don't do anything about it, etc., etc., etc. And we get weaker in daily life because we lose muscle. So, what's the solution to that? It's strength training, and that's important. We have been raised in this whole cardio bunny, um, atmosphere and fat burning here and fat burning there. Cardio is not a bad thing for sure, but strength training is important. We have to stop doing the endless ellipticals and stuff like that. We do have to train our muscles. The good news is 3 times 30 minutes a week is enough, and it's possible from home. You can, of course, go to the gym, but if you don't want to, you can even do it from home. And what's important is that you get the right instruction for us women 40 plus, because there's specific stuff we need to be aware of and we need to watch out for. The science behind that? So muscle not only is sexy and strong and sleek and beautiful, but it also produces myokines. Myokines is basically a hormone pharmacy. It's hormone-like little molecules that get released from active muscle and they protect everything. There is myokines that protect your heart. There's myokines that protect your brain, your bones, everything, and balance out your hormones. So a muscle really is magical in terms of hormone balancing. Also, from a metabolic health point of view, muscle improves your insulin sensitivity, which is a huge topic in perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. So, insulin, from blood sugar regulation. So, blood sugar balance is an important topic. You've probably heard about that. And muscle actually can really help with that. Also, metabolic health in general, energy production, fat metabolism gets better with muscle. Muscle is anti-aging from within. So this is just to show what muscle can do. It can protect your everything, your skeletal health, your like the mechanics basically of a strong back and protected joints. Your resting metabolic rate goes up, your brain gets protected, your heart gets protected, you get more energy, and muscle is like a pharmacy. So what are your first steps? So if you have not done strength training yet, and if you're not doing it yet, start with 5 minutes a day. Start with squats, start with wall push-ups, start with planks. And after 1 week, increase to 10 minutes. And then long term, of course, it would be really good to go into a structured program. What I can really recommend is Power and Balance. Power and Balance is my strength training course specifically developed for us women 40 plus. We look at bone health. We look at pelvic floor integration into our strength training. We look at the right nutrition around the strength training. And we learn simple routines that give us the most bang for our buck. So we really get it done in like 30-ish minutes, and we really work the most important muscle groups and do really good exercises that get us most benefits. Power and Balance is a 6-week strength training course. It's online, so you can do it from home. You can also take it to the gym. I have many clients who do it in the gym, many clients who do it in their living room, in their basement, wherever. And it's wonderful. It's a 6-week course. I'll talk a bit more about it afterwards. So it's a super great container to support you to learn strength training or to organize your strength training better. You can do it as a beginner or as an advanced strength trainer. It's fabulous. So, second pillar, we said there's three game-changing pillars: movement, nutrition, fuel instead of deprivation. It's the second pillar. So let's talk about nutrition a bit more. So what's the problem? The problem we all know, I eat so little and I still gain weight. I have changed nothing and all of a sudden I have a belly. I know many of you know this issue. Also, blood sugar roller coaster is going on. There's like mood swings and hot flashes and all of those things that get triggered by hormonal issues, but also blood sugar issues can trigger those same issues. Chronic inflammation is going on that can be supported with good nutrition, and gut problems get worse in perimenopause and menopause. Sometimes they get triggered by those hormonal changes because we actually have specific gut bacteria that are connected to estrogen metabolism. And therefore, when estrogen goes down, our gut microbiome can get basically disrupted, and gut problems get worse and worse. All of a sudden, you're bloated all the time. You start in the morning and you feel good, and at night, you have this huge bloated belly. You look like you're 3 months pregnant. So many women struggle with that. Definitely something we can work on. With my cleanup program, I support with that. And of course, in one-on-one coaching, we can specifically address your gut. What are the things you can do first? So the solution is smart nourishing. So a few things that are really non-negotiables, and we talk about game changer habits here. So what really is important? Really important, protein first. So the whole protein hype that's going on, there's too much crap product around it, but the general idea that protein is important for us 40 plus is actually very true. We need protein for everything. Not only is it a building block, but it also supports our blood sugar and it makes us feel satiated and satisfied and full. So it's really important. Please look at protein and eat 20 to 30 grams at breakfast. Secondly, an anti-inflammatory diet is super important. That simply means eating tons and tons of colors and healthy fats. Not tons and tons of fats, just little bits of fat, but healthy fats. And the important piece, tons and tons of different colors. So all kinds of plants. And gut health, super important topic. We can support that, of course, with deeper work if the gut is out of balance. As I said, we can do that in the cleanup and in one-on-one coaching, but also simply making sure that you eat enough fiber, that you up your fiber intake, not radically all at once, step by step, and with enough water so you don't get issues from that. And integrating fermented foods, little bits, is also a really good idea for gut health. So the general idea is nutrition is fuel and not deprivation. If we eat right, we can eat plenty, and we should eat plenty. So often I actually work with women who I have to teach to eat more, right? Because we are so used to cutting back on calories, and that actually really leads to a deprived body who doesn't have what it needs and holds on to every little gram of fat around the belly because it's scared, it's starving. So we have to eat enough of the good foods, of course, not enough of the crap. So what's the science behind it? So, I mean, there's lots of science, but simple things, building blocks for hormones, muscle, bones, etc. All of that is protein and nutrients, of course. So we have to eat a nutrient-dense diet. Our gut is our second brain. There's a gut-brain axis going on. So if your gut is really out of balance, that can impact not only your mood, but also your brain and your brain health long term. Inflammation is not only really not healthy, but it also kind of kills your hormones and gets them really out of balance. And protein is not only a building block, but also helps to stabilize your blood sugar. What's your first steps? One thing that I would love for you to take away from this training is the plate method. Every time you sit down to eat, look at your plate. Half of it is full of vegetables, a quarter is protein, a quarter is carbs. And by carbs, I mean complex carbs. So fiber and, starchy vegetables and quinoa and rice and whole grain and stuff like that. But the focus really is on vegetables and protein. And then we can add little bits of fat. Start with a protein-rich breakfast tomorrow. Ditch the muffin and so on. Really focus on protein in the morning. That makes a huge difference. And then integrate one fermented food and more fiber daily. That's a super great start. And with the fermented food, please go tread lightly. If you haven't had fermented food in a while, it will make you bloated first. That doesn't mean that it's not good for you. It just means your gut bacteria have to train. So start with tiny bits and slowly and steadily increase. To get your nutrition really right and really learn how to eat the best for your hormone balance, which means anti-inflammatory, blood sugar balancing, and gut friendly, of course, I highly recommend the cleanup. The cleanup is my 21-day nutrition program for happy hormones. It's a fantastic program. So many women have gone through it already and have learned so much. I will talk a bit more about it, but that's a really great program to get that nutrition topic figured out for yourself. So let's talk about the third game-changing pillar, self-care. It is key to be healthily selfish. Healthily selfish is a word I really like because being healthy, being selfish is not a horrible thing. It's a healthy thing. It should be something that you defend and that you can be proud of. Taking care of yourself is important. And us women so often don't do that. So what's the problem? The problem is exactly what I just said. I always come last. I'm not taking care of myself. I take care of everybody else around me. Sleep deprivation, which totally gets us into hormone chaos, and chronic stress, which leads to cortisol overload. So let me just emphasize this. Cortisol is not a bad hormone. Cortisol is a really important hormone. What's the issue is if cortisol is out of balance. A healthy cortisol curve is supposed to be high in the morning and then go down during the day so that melatonin can go up at night. If there's acute stress in between, so you get chased by a saber-toothed tiger, for example, then your cortisol goes up quickly, you run away, and then after you ran away, it goes down again. Unfortunately, in today's world, it's not acute stress most of the time, it's chronic stress, which means cortisol goes up and it goes up and it goes up and it stays up. And that then leads to the issues, and that is cortisol overload. That leads to all kinds of hormonal chaos because all of the hormones are connected and they play together like a finely tuned orchestra. And if one of the dominant hormones, especially cortisol or insulin we talked about before, if those are out of balance, they kind of mess everything else up. They are important. Cortisol and insulin are important for survival. Estrogen, progesterone, they are important for having babies. That's not as important as survival. So if cortisol is out of whack and insulin is out of whack, everything else gets shut down. So if you're already in perimenopause, menopause, you have estrogen, progesterone issues and imbalances, and then the cortisol comes in, it's complete chaos. I hope that made sense. So that's why this stress piece and this self-care piece is so incredibly important. So incredibly important. So if you're exhausted despite functioning all the time, please, please look at this topic. So what's the solution? It's strategic self-care, being really, really, really strategic and really disciplined about self-care. That means sleep hygiene, 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep are important for us. Defend them, try to get them, go to bed early if you have to. Negotiate with your family how you can get a little more sleep. And if you have sleep issues, start addressing them. Work with your healthcare provider. You can work with me on that. Sleep hygiene is a super important topic that I love to support women with. Sleep is so important. Stress management, same thing, so important. So, such an important topic that we really have to look at. And it's not something that we can neglect, or we can just be like, oh, that little bit of stress. Stress is actually really damaging if it's not managed well. And specifically in midlife, you can probably tell you just cannot handle as much anymore. And that is because of all the hormone interconnections I explained before. So stress management becomes crucial. And it's not something to be ashamed of that we can't handle as much anymore. It is hard to get used to, I will admit, for me as well, even though I've always known this in theory. When I then finally also myself noticed, okay, I can't handle as much anymore as I used to, it kind of feels, embarrassing, or like, what's going on with me? It's okay. We have to cut back. We have to protect ourselves. Simple stress management techniques are breathing techniques and taking strategic breaks. That sounds so ridiculous, but those pieces are so important. But we have to do them with intention and really do them. And setting boundaries. You're allowed to say no. You really have to say no. No. So self-care is not selfish. Self-care is absolutely essential for us. The science, cortisol blocks other hormones. As I said before, cortisol just messes everything up if it's out of whack. A nice, healthy cortisol curve is fantastic, and cortisol is important. But if it's chronically elevated and out of balance, it blocks and damages your hormone balance. Secondly, sleep deprivation. It really leads to cravings and weight gain. It's proven. Chronic stress contributes to chronic inflammation, which we already talked about. And really good recovery is a hormone reset. One of the most important things you can do for your hormone balance. So here are a few first steps you can integrate easily. 5-minute morning routine. Get up 5 minutes earlier than everybody else to do a few minutes of breathing and 3 minutes of gratitude and intention setting. Do those 5 minutes increments of little times pockets for yourselves. Schedule those throughout the day. And if it's 5 minutes in the first week, and in the second week, you do 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes after lunch, that's already a big win. Start with that. Sleep hygiene. First step, 1 hour before bed, put your phone away. Don't look at blue screen light anymore. And then take one of those conscious breaks daily. So in summary, it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to be constantly tired. We don't have to gain weight like crazy. And we don't have to feel like strangers in our body. It is possible to have more energy than with 30. It's possible to be strong and fit. And it is possible to come back into balance. And this can be with hormone replacement therapy or without it, right? For some women, hormone replacement therapy is such a crucial part of this, and it's nothing to be afraid of. It's something to be talking to a well-educated doctor about and get support. And if you cannot or don't want to take hormones, also good. Lifestyle can also take care of a lot. And for some women, it works with, for some women, it works without. Lifestyle is always important. You can't do simply hormones and not take care of everything else. You can, of course, but it's not as good for you. Hormones and lifestyle work together really well because those hormones get metabolized by your gut and your liver and so on. And if those aren't functioning well, the hormones don't really do as much and don't support you as well as they could. So, hormonal balance with or without hormone replacement therapy is something that is possible. And yes, there will be up and down. And yes, perimenopause, menopause can be a rough time for some of us. And it is possible to go through it with strength and awareness and actually learn from it. So let's look at how we do this. We looked at the three pillars. So you know the three pillars: movement, nutrition, and self-care. But knowledge, of course, does not equal implementation. So the most important piece is the doing, the consistency, the showing up and doing it over and over again. As I said in the beginning, I don't want you to have to look for the magic pill and look for the new thing and whatever anybody on social media says. I really want you to have clarity in your healthy supporting habits and know exactly what to do and what to get back to if you fell off the wagon. So structure and guidance and community leads to success. Therefore, I offer courses, I offer coaching, and the first steps I will actually share with you after this masterclass. I'll send out an email with the recording for everybody, and there will also be a handout attached that will guide you through your first steps so that you can really get started. So I just want to get back to my programs real quick to give you an overview so that you know what you're looking at. So Power and Balance is my strength training course, 6-week strength training course, specifically designed for us women 40 plus. We look at pelvic floor, we look at bone health, we look at nutrition, we look at the movements and the exercises that bring us the most bang for our buck. I explain everything in detail so you can really learn the exercises from ground up. So you can start Power and Balance as a beginner. You can start with body weight. You can also join if you're already advanced and you simply need a good structure and a good 6 weeks routine that you can do. So you can start at any level and you can basically adjust the weight to fit you. And I will exactly explain how that works. The program is possible from home or the gym. It's approximately 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and you have 6-month access. And I will send you a coupon code for afterwards for a quick sign-up bonus for Power and Balance. That is actually possible to use until Sunday. So it's a fast acting bonus. Next is, oops, I have a bit of a slide issue here. Next is my cleanup. So cleanup is my nutrition program. It's a 21-day nutrition reset for gut health and anti-inflammatory nutrition, blood sugar regulation. It's a 21-day hormone balancing nutrition course. It starts September 15th. And it's a fantastic 21-day experience. I really would like to encourage you to join. Again, quick sign-up bonus that I will share in email. In this course, you will discover what works for you and how to nourish yourself, like I talked about long term. We also have Zoom sessions so you can ask questions. So it's a really great course. So the bonus offer that I talked about goes until Sunday. You get a special price with the code that I will share for the single courses, or you can combine both courses and really get a super special price for the combination and then a discount with the code as well. And both courses combined, of course, lead to maximum transformation fast. And most importantly, they teach you long term how to go about this. Are you ready? I will share the links in the email. The chat is not really working for me right now. So I'll share in the email afterwards all the links to the courses, Power and Balance, the strength training course, Clean Up, the nutrition course, and the combination offer. And if you would like to talk about one-on-one coaching to individually talk about you and support you, that's of course also something we can do. You can simply respond to my email. So, final word, the question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will give yourself this chance. I can only encourage you to give yourself this chance. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to talk to you soon.